Do you know there are countries where Bible is banned? Hey there, welcome back to Epic Halo, your go-to channel for all things Halo. Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating topic, countries where the Bible is banned. Get ready for an epic exploration of the restrictions faced by Christians around the world. So, without further ado, let's jump right into our top 10 lists. Starting off at number 10, we have Morocco. While it is true that Morocco has restrictions on the distribution and possession of Bibles translated into Arabic, it's important to note that the situation may not be as severe as portrayed. Morocco is a predominantly Muslim country, and Islam is the state religion. While the Moroccan constitution guarantees freedom of worship for all individuals, including Christians, there are some restrictions on non-Muslim religious activities. The Moroccan government generally allows the sale and distribution of Bibles in foreign languages such as French, English, and Spanish. However, Arabic translations are subject to limitations and scrutiny. It's important to understand that the restrictions on Arabic translations of the Bible are primarily aimed at regulating proselytization and preventing attempts to convert Muslims to other religions. The Moroccan government perceives such activities as potential sources of social tension and a threat to the country's religious harmony. Consequently, authorities may confiscate Arabic Bibles that they suspect are intended for proselytizing. Regarding religious education, while Christian children may not receive specific religious instruction in public schools, Morocco does permit the operation of private Christian schools where religious education can be provided. It's worth noting that religious tolerance and the experiences of religious minorities can vary across different regions and communities within Morocco. While challenges may exist for Christians, it's also important to recognize that Morocco has a diverse cultural heritage and a history of coexistence between different religious communities. Next on our list at number 9 is Somalia. Brace yourselves, because Christians residing in Somalia face constant persecution from radicals and government officials. Practicing their faith in extreme secrecy, they can't even own Bibles. The country's society expects everyone to be Muslims, and imams openly declare that there's no room for Christianity, Christians, or churches. Before moving to number 8, let me tell you about countries where church are banned. If you want to know about those, then you can check my previous videos or you can find video in I button. Now let's move on to number 8, Libya. In Libya, Christians face severe restrictions as well. Openly practicing their faith is prohibited, and conversion to Christianity is outlawed. As a result, converts must keep their faith secret, even from their close family members. It's a challenging environment for believers, and evangelism and Bible distribution are strictly illegal. Coming in at number 7 is Uzbekistan. This Central Asian nation practices a dictatorship form of government, where severe penalties and punishments are imposed on people found with Bibles. The authorities conduct searches and detain Christians in possession of religious materials. It's a challenging situation, as there's no freedom of religion or religious literature, except for state-sanctioned materials. Moving on to number 6, we have the Maldives. Despite its reputation as a luxurious paradise, the Maldives has strict laws that forbid importing Bibles. Complete translations of the Bible in the official language, Divehi, are non-existent. Converting from Islam means losing Maldivian citizenship, and owning a Bible is considered a capital offense. Churches are banned, and Christian migrants and tourists have to worship in secret without possessing their own holy books. Now, let's explore number 5, China. Brace yourselves, Halo fans, because the situation here might surprise you. The Chinese Communist Party has placed a ban on online Bible downloads and even emptied bookshops of Bibles. Can you believe it? China, as a communist country, has a history of implementing policies that restrict religious activities, including the regulation and control of religious materials. The Chinese government has established state-sanctioned religious organizations and churches that operate under government oversight and adhere to specific regulations. Regarding the Bible, the Chinese government has implemented regulations on its distribution and sale. Officially, Bibles can be obtained from state-sanctioned churches and government-approved bookstores. However, there have been reports of shortages and difficulties in accessing Bibles, particularly in certain regions or areas with tighter controls on religious activities. Regarding online Bible downloads, there have been reports of restrictions and censorship in recent years. The Chinese government has tightened control over online platforms and content, including religious materials. This has resulted in limited access to online versions of the Bible and increased difficulties in obtaining religious literature through digital means. Regarding the claim of altering Bible verses and replacing them with President Xi's words, I cannot provide specific information on such alterations. However, it is not uncommon for authoritarian regimes to attempt to control or influence religious narratives to align with their ideologies or political goals. This can include efforts to reinterpret or manipulate religious texts or teachings. It's important to note that the Chinese government's approach to religion and religious freedom is complex, and there can be variations in the enforcement of policies across different regions within China. The experiences and restrictions faced by religious communities, including Christians, may vary depending on factors such as location, adherence to state-sanctioned institutions, and levels of government scrutiny. Taking the fourth spot is North Korea, a totalitarian state where citizens are only permitted to worship their leader, Kim Jong-un. In North Korea, the possession and distribution of religious materials, including Bibles and the Quran, are heavily restricted. The government views these materials as potential sources of foreign influence and a threat to the state ideology. Consequently, individuals found in possession of religious texts can face severe consequences, including imprisonment, torture, and even execution. Religious activities in North Korea are tightly controlled, and there is limited freedom for religious expression. The few state-sanctioned religious institutions primarily serve as a facade to project an image of religious freedom to the outside world. However, it is widely believed that these institutions are closely monitored, and the religious practices allowed within them are tightly regulated. Due to the extreme level of state control and the fear of persecution, many religious believers in North Korea practice their faith secretly, often in underground networks or small, closely knit groups. These believers face significant risks and must exercise extreme caution to avoid detection by the authorities. It is essential to recognize that the information available about the situation in North Korea is limited and often based on accounts from defectors and human rights organizations. The North Korean government tightly controls information within the country, making it challenging to obtain a comprehensive understanding of the exact conditions faced by religious believers. Next up at number 3 is Saudi Arabia. As an absolute monarchy, Saudi Arabia only allows Islam, and no other religion is permitted. While private worship is possible, obtaining religious texts other than the Quran is highly restricted. Freedom of religion is non-existent, and smuggling Bibles into the country for public evangelism is considered a serious offense. However, the Saudi authorities do accept private worship, as long as it's not for public use or attempting to convert others. At number 2, we have Yemen, a country struggling with one of the world's largest humanitarian crises. Unfortunately, Christians in Yemen face additional challenges, as aid distribution often prioritizes Muslims. Non-Muslims, including Christians, receive less aid. Moreover, no Christian is allowed to possess a Bible in the country. It's undoubtedly a tough situation for Christians in Yemen. Finally, we arrive at number 1, Afghanistan. Did you know that Afghanistan does not officially recognize any Afghan citizens as Christians? Back in 2009, Bibles in Afghan languages sent to a U.S. soldier were confiscated and destroyed to prevent any breach of regulations against proselytizing. The U.S. military denied the allegations of trying to convert Afghans to Christianity, but the strict control over religious texts remains in place. It's certainly a challenging environment for Christians in Afghanistan. And that wraps up our exploration of 10 countries where the Bible is banned or heavily restricted. It's truly eye-opening to learn about the difficulties faced by Christians in these nations. Did any of these countries surprise you? Let us know in the comments below. And if there are any other countries you expected to see on this list, feel free to share your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned to Epic Halo for more fascinating content about the Halo universe, gaming news, and much more. Until next time, Halos, stay awesome, stay educated, and keep conquering those virtual battlefields. This is Epic Halo, signing off.